With so many items to pick and choose from, it can be a little overwhelming for beginners to know what items you should or shouldn't prioritize. So here I'll explain what items you should try and locate, why you need them, and where you'll likely find them. Although you should be collecting any useful items you find, this will center on what your immediate focus should be starting off. Let me know your recommendations in the comments. If you like the video, please leave a like or a subscribe. I'm a small channel and it really helps me out so much. But without further ado, let's get into the video. You guys want to buy some drugs? I'll start with what I consider to be the most useful and necessary item for not just early game but basically the entire game: a knife or a similar bladed weapon. Having a knife can significantly improve your chances of survival as a beginner. This is because of how many uses the knife has itself. Firstly, you can cut bark from a tree to combine it with sticks to light a fire. You can skin animals you find, combine the knife with a sharpened stick and cook them over a fire. You can open canned food without a can opener. You can cut seeds out from vegetables and fruit to grow your own food. You can cut up pieces of clothing, creating rags for healing and crafting. You can also use it to help craft a fishing rod, not to mention to cut down bushes, preventing the risk of cuts you normally get when trying to cut down a bush without gloves. Furthermore, it acts as a pretty decent melee weapon with a special ability: you can stealth kill zombies. Then against players you can cause bleeding. There are other things you can do, but these are the things you'll probably encounter the most as a beginner, and in my view this is by far the most important early game tool. I'll attach a full crafting guide at the top right and in the description for anybody who wants a more in-depth guide on how to do all the things I've mentioned crafting in this video. But where do you find them? Knives are in abundance. Garden sheds, industrial buildings, and most houses can spawn them. Military sites and farmhouses, or if you follow dirt paths or train tracks, you can combine two stones or bones to make an improvised knife. But just be aware, these stones can be quite far apart, but they will be there. Honestly, I traveled like a whole 7 minutes just to find these two stones along this track, but they are there. Another item you definitely need to be on the lookout for is a two-handed melee weapon. Knives are great, but they shouldn't really be used as a main melee weapon because they ruin quite quickly, rendering them useless, and they have other uses you're best keeping them for. However, finding a two-handed melee weapon allows you to bring the fight to the zombies hard. You can swing and block, and it just improves your overall fighting game. When it comes down to what two-handed melee weapons you should find though, most things are good. Sledgehammers, shovels, axes and bats. I find sledgehammers and shovels are good against other players, but the shovel also allows you to make a garden, so it has additional uses. Axes can do cut damage and you can cut down trees with them. The bats are a personal favourite of mine because you can combine them with barbed wire or nails to create a nailed or barbed wire bat, which adds cut damage. They are also quite light for a melee weapon. This doesn't mean these are the best, they're just my personal go-to when given the option. They can be mainly found in sheds, farms and industrial sites, with axes also being found at fire stations. Next is warm clothing. Hoodies, hats, gloves. Don't underestimate the importance of warm clothing. One of the most common illnesses among beginners is caused by the cold. This is when your temperature bar in the bottom right turns blue. If it's blue too long, you'll get ill. So always check the temperature rating of the clothing you find, and remember, the boots you find are always warmer than your default starting shoes, so always switch as soon as possible. You can find them in most houses such as cabins, containers at docks, blue door houses in cities, with military bases, police stations and fire stations having some of the best insulated and storage sizes available. Clothing is everywhere. Another item you need to find is a backpack. This is definitely necessary because you'll find that your capacity reaches maximum very quickly. Believe it or not, an optimized late game player can have fewer items than an early to mid game player because they have more choice. As a beginner, you'll mostly be looking to grab everything useful and organize it later on. You can find these in a variety of places, from coastal houses and boats, military sites and even zombies, or you can craft one yourself using a burlap sack and some rope. Again, crafting guide in the description. Wait, what? Just a man chasing the goat. Back to work. But these are just my absolute beginner suggestions and part 1 of 3 in a mini-series. To see what you should be getting after you've gotten all these things, check part 2. This mini-series will cover the full guide from beginner to fully geared. Tell me your suggestions in the comments, or let me know if you disagree with anything I've suggested. What else would you add that I might have missed? If you liked the video, please leave a like and a subscribe. Thanks for watching, and as always, until next time.